Hello everyone. Today we are solving valid anagram in C#. Okay, let's read the problem. Given two strings S and T, return true if T is an anagram of S and false if otherwise. So we're given two strings and we need to determine if they are anagrams of each other. So what is an anagram? So anagrams are words with the same letters. So a good example of anagrams would be pat and tap. So these aren't the same word, but they have the exact same letters. So that's what an anagram is, and we need to determine if S and T are anagrams of each other. So imagine pat is, let me just say S is equal to pat and T is equal to tap, right? So how are we going to determine if S and T are anagrams of each other? So the first thing you should notice about these two words is that they have the same length. So that's the first thing we should check. We should check if S and T have the same length, and if they don't, they can't be anagrams of each other. The next thing we're going to need to do is count how many times each letter occurs in the word, and then do the same for T. And if they have the same count for each letter, then they are anagrams of each other. So what that's going to look like is we're going to have a hash map for variable S and a hash map for variable T. This is the key, this is the value, and this is the key, and this is the value. And we're going to use the characters of each word as the key. So for S we'll have P, A, T, and for T we'll have T, A, P. And we're going to count how many times each letter occurs. So P occurs only one time, and the same is true for A and T, and it's also true for tap. And the next thing we're going to do after counting the occurrences of each letter is we're going to compare the counts of S and T. So we'll compare, we'll compare this P to this P, and then this A to this A, this T to this T. And if they are all equal, then S and T are anagrams of each other. And if they are not equal, then they are not anagrams of each other. Okay, let's do this in LeetCode. So the first thing we're going to need to do is to find the hash maps to count the letters of each string. So it's going to store characters and the count. So S letter count. I'm just going to copy this and paste it, then change this to T. So then we are going to check if these two strings do not have the same length. So if S dot length is not equal to T dot length, we will return false. And then we're gonna start counting the letters of each string. So I'll have a for loop. So for int I equal to 0, I is less than. So you can pick whichever string you'd like because we have determined that they have the same length. So it really doesn't matter which one you pick, but I'm going to use S and take its length. And then I plus plus. So I will also start with string S, and I'll go if S letter count dot contains key. So I will check if the current character exists in our hash map, and if it does, I will just increment the count as letter. And if it doesn't, I will just add it. So we'll start at 1. And also don't forget to put the square brackets and the current index, because if you don't, it's going to try to fit the entire string, and we're just looking for the character at I. And then I'm going to do the same for T. I'll just copy this, paste that, and just replace all the letter S with T. Just go like this. TI, TI, TI. Okay, and that's all for the counting. And then after we count, we're going to have to compare them. So to compare these, I'm going to use a for each loop, and I'm going to get the pair, so the key and value in. Also, you can pick whichever hash map you'd like to. I'm going to take the first one again. So this returns the key and the value. And then I'm going to check if T letter count contains the key, pair.key. So what I'm doing here is checking if the second hash map contains the current key, because if it doesn't contain the current key, then it means it doesn't have that character, which means it can't be an anagram. So I'll just return false if this code block does not run. Okay, and then inside of this, if it does contain the key, I'm going to check if the counts are the same. So T letter count at pair.key is not equal to pair.value. So if the count of the current character in the T hash map is not equal to the current value in the S letter count hash map, then I need to return false. So this would be the opposite depending on which hash map you use. So if you use the T letter count, this should be S letter count. Okay, and then I'll just continue here. Okay, so then if this doesn't return false, then we have a valid anagram. Let's run that. Okay. It seems I've made a mistake. Okay, it was actually a silly mistake. So I forgot, well, I didn't forget. I mistakenly wrote false instead of true. So this is supposed to return true if this doesn't return false. Okay, yeah, this should run now. And I'm going to submit. Okay guys, that is how you solve valid anagram in C#. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.